Do you ever feel lonely, even when you're in a crowded room? You're at a birthday party, you're singing the song, you're surrounded by people, maybe even friends, but you feel this invisible, hollow wall around you. That's a very specific feeling. Or maybe it's the opposite. You love spending time by yourself. You crave a quiet Saturday with just a book. But the moment you turn down an invitation, you feel this wave of guilt, like you're being antisocial, a bad friend, or just plain weird. You feel like you should want to be with people, and that your preference for quiet is somehow a flaw. Our relationship with being alone is one of the most complicated and misunderstood parts of being human, especially today. We live in a hyper-connected world, always a click away from thousands of friends, yet studies show we are lonelier than ever. We can see what everyone is doing all the time, which can make our own quiet moments feel less like a choice and more like a failure. We're bombarded with messages about community, teamwork, and connection. We're told we're social animals and that we need connection to survive. And that is 100% true. Our brains are literally wired for it. But what if the opposite is also true? What if, to be truly happy, to be creative, and to have genuinely good relationships, we also need to be alone? Not in a painful, isolating way, but in a way that's recharging, creative, and necessary. This isn't just a feeling or a preference for introverts. It's deep psychology that applies to everyone. And the most important lesson psychology teaches us about this topic is one simple, powerful distinction: the difference between lonely and being in solitude. Understanding this difference isn't just a fun fact. It's a survival skill for the modern world. It's how you learn to stop fearing being alone and start using it as a tool. An inability to be alone can make us stay in bad relationships, endlessly scroll to numb our own thoughts, or burn out completely. So, learning to use solitude is the key to being happier, more creative, and more resilient. It's how you build a better relationship with yourself. And, as you'll see, that is the only way to build better relationships with everyone else. First, let's talk about the one we all fear: loneliness. It's crucial to understand that loneliness has nothing to do with how many people are physically around you. You can be the most popular person in the room and feel completely, utterly alone. You can be lonely in a marriage, in a busy office, or at a huge party. That's because loneliness is a feeling. It's the painful, involuntary perception that your social connections are not good enough, not deep enough, or not there at all. It's the gap between the connection you want and the connection you have. Psychologists sometimes break it down into two types. First, there's social loneliness. This is the feeling of lacking a group or a tribe. It's what you feel when you move to a new city, start a new job, or sit at a table listening to new colleagues share inside jokes. You feel like an outsider. Second, and often more painful, is emotional loneliness. This is the feeling of lacking a deep, close, intimate bond with an individual. This is the loneliness you can feel while lying in bed next to your partner, the person you're supposed to be closest to, because you feel you can't really talk to them about your deepest fears or joys without them judging you or misunderstanding. And this feeling hurts. It's not your imagination. Psychologically, our brains are wired for connection as a survival mechanism. It's called the social brain hypothesis, the idea that our brains grew so large not to invent tools, but to manage our incredibly complex social relationships. To our ancient ancestors, being isolated from the tribe wasn't just sad. It was a death sentence. You were vulnerable to predators, starvation, and the elements. So, your brain developed a social pain signal to tell you, warning, your connection is at a critical level. Reconnect immediately. That signal is loneliness. Neuroscientists have shown that the pain of social rejection activates the very same brain regions as physical pain. It's as real as putting your hand on a hot stove. It's your body's check engine light for its most critical survival resource, belonging to the tribe. This is why chronic loneliness doesn't just feel bad, it's physically devastating. When you're lonely, your body enters a state of high alert, pumping out massive amounts of the stress hormone cortisol. This leads to chronic inflammation, which is like a slow burning fire inside your body. This inflammation isn't abstract. It's a measurable process that actively damages cells and arteries. This inflammation is a root cause of countless issues: poor sleep, a weakened immune system, depression, and even a higher risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. Loneliness is a serious warning light from your body, telling you a fundamental human need isn't being met. But then, there's the other side of the coin: solitude. If loneliness is a painful lack, solitude is a positive presence. It is the voluntary, intentional choice to be alone, to be with yourself. It's not a state of isolation, it's a state of rich connection with yourself. It's what we call self-acquaintance. You can't be a good friend to others if you're a total stranger to yourself. And many of us are strangers to ourselves. We don't know why we're so irritable, what we actually want in life, or what our own uninfluenced opinions even are. Let's put it simply. Loneliness is being alone and wishing you were with others. Solitude is being alone and enjoying your own company. It's not about running away from people. It's about returning to yourself. It's a deliberate, fulfilling, and peaceful state that you choose for your own benefit. This is where the magic happens. Psychologically, solitude is essential for self-reflection. It's when you can finally hear your own thoughts without the noise, opinions, and expectations of the outside world. It's where you do your emotional housekeeping. Think about it. It's where you replay that awkward argument and finally understand why you got so upset. It's because what they said touched on a deeper insecurity. It's where you untangle a big, messy feeling of anxiety into its specific parts. A worry about a work deadline, a financial stressor, and that weird thing your friend said last week. Without this processing time, all that emotional clutter just piles up. We just react to life based on this pile of unprocessed feelings, overreacting to small things because they're secretly connected to this bigger mess. Creativity thrives in solitude. It's not an accident that so many great thinkers, artists, and innovators, from Einstein to Maya Angelou, had a deep, daily practice of solitude. There's a brain network for this, called the Default Mode Network, DMN. This network is responsible for creative insight, self-reflection, and aha moments. And here's the key. The DMN only truly activates when you're not focused on an external task. It's not hard thinking. It's that relaxed, associative state when you're daydreaming, on a long walk, or in the shower. In other words, in solitude, that your brain can finally make new, unexpected connections. And for many of us, especially those on the introverted side, solitude is simply how we recharge our batteries. Being on all the time, making small talk, and navigating complex social dynamics is exhausting. It's like your social battery is drained to zero. Solitude is the charging port. But here's the most counterintuitive benefit. Solitude actually improves your relationships with other people. When you take time to recharge and get to know yourself, you return to your social life with more to offer. You're less needy, you're less irritable, and you're not looking for others to fix you or fill your void. You have the emotional capacity, the emotional generosity to truly listen. Think about it. If you come home from a day of solitude, your cup is full. When your partner tells you about their bad day, you can actually be present for them instead of feeling drained and just waiting for your turn to complain. You connect from a place of fullness, not a place of lack. So the big question is, how do we get less of that painful loneliness and more of that powerful solitude? Especially if you're someone who genuinely fears being alone, or if your default alone time is just mindlessly scrolling, which, as we know, often just makes you feel more lonely and empty. First, you have to be honest. When you're alone, what are you actually doing? Are you just distracting yourself? That's mindless scrolling on social media, binging a show you don't even like, or playing a game on your phone for 2 hours? That's numbing. It's a way to avoid being alone with your own thoughts. It adds more noise to your brain. Restoration, on the other hand, is true solitude. It's journaling, going for a walk, listening to music, or just sitting and thinking. It subtracts noise and adds clarity. The first step is to recognize how much of your alone time is just distraction, and slowly try to swap some of it for restoration. Your brain is telling you something. But usually the answer isn't just more people. It's more quality connection. One deep, 30-minute vulnerable conversation with a good friend is more powerful at fighting loneliness than a 3-hour party full of small talk. So, don't just consume social media. Use it to plan a real one-on-one interaction. Send that text. Make that call. Prioritize depth over width. And also ask, is the loneliness a signal that you're disconnected from yourself? This is a key insight. Sometimes we mistake boredom for loneliness. We look for a person to solve a problem that an activity could solve. Being alone isn't something to be afraid of. It's the foundation for who you are. And the better you get at being with yourself, the more you know yourself, the more you enjoy your own company, the better you'll be at being with everyone else. You'll show up as a better friend, a better partner, a better human, because you're not showing up empty, looking to be filled. You stop seeing people as human utilities, as a gas station to make you feel less bored or less lonely. You start seeing them as whole people, and you connect with them because you are genuinely interested in them, not just in what they can do for you. Solitude is the skill of being a good companion to yourself. And that is the most important and most constant relationship you will ever have. So my question for you is, what's your favorite way to practice restorative solitude? Or what's one micro-solitude you're going to try this week? And what's the biggest barrier you face when trying to be alone? Let's talk about it and share some ideas in the comments below.